Now, Kevin, we have some pretty important people in the room with us right now.
Will you wait? It's going to be a scroll of education that comes out, Greg.
Literally, if you will. We want to welcome, first of all, a lady who is no stranger to the program. She's back. We're honored to have her with us again on Empower Wichita. The president of Newman University, Dr. Newman Carrocci. Good morning, Dr. Carrocci.
Good morning, Greg. I'm so happy to be back.
Well, we're glad to have you back, Dr. Carrocci. Dr. Carrocci, if you will allow me, ladies first, tell us, Newman University, tell us about your school. I think a lot of people know about your school, but hey, you guys have been doing some big things over there on the west side of town.
Well, we're 76 years old, sponsored by an order of sisters called the Adorers, and we are currently enrolling a total of about 2,200 students in Wichita, Western Kansas, and Colorado Springs. And our traditional undergraduate student population is about 1,200. We have master's programs in theology, business, education, nurse anesthesia, and social work.
Oh, wow. That's pretty strong there, Kevin, and pretty impressive over there at Newman University. And we're going to get into more of all of this. Thank you, Dr. Carrocci. Dr. Carrocci and Dick, either one of you can jump in this discussion, and looking forward to having it. In an age where colleges are competing more and more for students, and I don't think some of us realize the marketing that many universities and colleges do to attract students to their campuses. And one of the things that you have to compete against is the more traditional Division I schools and all of that. What do you do to really kind of rattle the minds of young people and say, hey, we're here and we're good, and often cases better than the big guys?
Well, in fact, Dr. Merriman and I...
We're sold on that.
No, we each of us have tried to write pieces and place them in publications that talk about the value of private higher education in the state of Kansas in particular. You know, we enroll altogether about 21% of all four-year undergraduate students at the Kansas Independent Colleges. And we do that with no money from the state.
Wow.
Only some of our students who qualify for the Kansas Comprehensive Grant that goes directly to them for their tuition, and only 60% of those who qualify get it, but that nonetheless, that's the only money that goes from the state through the Kansas private colleges. So we can offer, from our perspective, a much richer personal experience for the student where they get to know their professors. They get faculty advising, quality relationships. Getting through the perception that publics rule is a challenge.
And one of the things, Dr. Carrocci and Dr. Merriman, that people may not realize is that both of your universities have a national resume. I mean, you have students from all over the country that come to Wichita for the specific reason of attending Newman University.
Yes, this year we had students in our res halls from 26 states and 24 countries.
Wow.
So and our challenge too is to recruit kids from Wichita, because they want to get away. So I've been saying, get away from home, live on campus.
Yes.
And you'll be...
And you got that beautiful new dorm to prove it.
That's right. And you'll be developing relationships with people from all over the country and the world. It is an investment in yourself. About a year and a half ago, there was an article in the paper about the average debt load of students coming out of the Kansas schools. And some of the public schools had higher average debt loads than the privates,
than ours, right.
Than Southwestern and Newman. So we do everything we can to make our education, our rich education, affordable for those who want it. I always say, find where you feel the best fit and then make it happen. And if like me, I had to go on loan, I paid it off the 10 years after graduate school. It was the best investment I ever made was in myself and my education.
Dr. Carrocci and Dr. Merriman, let me play devil's advocate, if you will. In an age where people go, that sounds nice, but you're not the one writing the checks. That sounds great. As you get more assertive in your efforts to recruit minority students, What is it you would say to minority students to make them really seriously consider an education at both of your institutions?
I have a minority student who transferred to Newman, who's now in med school, who started at one of the larger publics and sat in the first row in his chemistry class of 300 and some the whole semester, and then had to take the final late because of an illness. And the professor said to him when he took it, he had the highest grade in the class, and she said, "Did you come to class all the time?" And he said, "Ma'am, I was in the front row."
Wow.
He transferred to Newman.
Yeah.
And now is in med school, as is his younger brother about to join him. We have 7 students going to KU med school next year. Every one of them who applied got in. We have students going to optometry school. We have students going to law school, and teachers who have been placed. Our nurses tend to have 100% pass rate on the NCLEX, or 95%, which means one didn't pass the first time. And all of them have jobs by the time they are graduating. And many of those will go on for master's degrees.